Hello my friends, I hope you're having a lovely day, and it has been a while since I've done one of these videos. I used to do more videos on camera in the past, but I haven't had a need, or not a need, I haven't had the spark to do one, but today I do have that spark because there's an article I want to talk about that has been brought to my attention by a lot of people. It was an opinion piece for the Business Insider, and it was written by Jack Crosby, but Jack Crosby does not represent Business Insider. It's an opinion piece. Just want to get that out there, but still, you can read it on Business Insider's website. So, it is called, "It's Time to Admit Animal Crossing New Horizons is a Dumb, Boring Game for Children." So, if you've seen me do these rebuttal pieces in the past, you know that I don't go out to attack. I don't go out to I don't do rage videos or anything like that. I try and just rebut and stay respectful and try not to get too heated in my discussion. So that's what I'm doing here. I definitely don't want you to send any negativity towards Jack. While I may disagree with his piece, I don't want to cause him any trouble. So let's just discuss some of the things that he says in this article, and we're going to start off with the title. As I said, the title is, "It's Time to Admit Animal Crossing New Horizons is a Dumb, Boring Game for Children." And obviously I take issue with that. I'm into a lot of hobbies that I guess may be called childish or stupid or kiddy or whatever. I mean, I cover Nintendo for a living. That's followed Nintendo since pretty much the Super Nintendo days, that it's a kiddie company or they make childish games, where I would counter and say they make games for everyone. But yeah, other things that I follow, like anime or comic books or professional wrestling, they're all things that people frown upon and say, how can you watch that? How can you read that? That's for little kids. It's so stupid, blah, 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 blah. I won't say that it's not disappointing to hear that stuff. I won't say that it's not disheartening to hear that stuff, but I keep a quote on my phone from C.S. Lewis about this stuff. I may have talked about this before. I just find it's a quote that really resonates when you have things like this. Let me read the quote in full. "Critics who treat adult as a term of approval instead of as merely a descriptive term cannot be adult themselves. To be concerned about being grown up, to admire the grown up because it is grown up, to blush at the suspicion of being childish, these things are the marks of childhood and adolescence. And in childhood and adolescence, they are, in moderation, healthy symptoms. Young things ought to want to grow, but to carry on into middle life or even into early manhood, this concern about being adult is a mark of really arrested development. When I was 10, I read fairy tales in secret and would have been ashamed if I had been found doing so. Now that I am 50, I read them openly. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up." I really do love that quote. It speaks to so much, and I really think calling something childish or meant for children is a bit silly. And obviously I feel that way with Animal Crossing. There's countless people, from young kids to grown-ups to, elderly people, that all play this game and get something out of it. And to call it childish, I feel, or made for children, is just negating everything that the game can provide and negating the experience that it can provide. As long as you're someone who does what you're supposed to do when it comes to your work, your chores, be it school or your job, takes care of your family or whatever. When it comes to leisure activities, be it playing video games like Animal Crossing or sports or whatever, as long as you're not out to hurt someone and you're enjoying this content without hurting yourself or others, obviously playing Animal Crossing isn't hurting anyone, I think it's fine. And that goes for all hobbies, whether they are considered childish by the public at large or not. So yeah, hearing something labeled as for children, making it a knock against that thing, just irks me. And also looks bad for children too. Like, why is being labeled for children a bad thing? So I'm going to pull some excerpts from the full article, but please go read the full article. I don't want to think that I'm just cherry picking things here and picking out the worst stuff. I want you to read the whole thing. And I also want to say, Jack makes some points that I agree with in this article about how things operate in Animal Crossing New Horizons, things that I would like to see changed. My issue is, well, I have many issues, but one of my issues is his phrasing and his tone kind of negate the points that he's making. If he took a more even-keeled approach, or even maybe a more serious approach, I could get more behind the ideas that he's got, but he's throwing them in there with all the colorful language that just makes it seem like the article is clickbait or the article is just trying to rile people up, which it obviously has, so it's done its part. I don't know Jack's true intentions. Maybe he didn't know it was going to come to this or get people so riled up, but here we are. So yes, just read the full article. I don't want to seem like I'm just cherry picking things. Jack says, the rest of the time has been frustrating, tedious, and immensely boring, mostly involving mashing buttons to get through endlessly repeating dialogue boxes with chibi animals mumbling gibberish and refilling countless holes I dug in the wrong place. So, let's start with the point I agree with. You do hit a lot of the A button in the game, and the A button is used for a lot of your main interactions in the game, be it with items, with characters, or whatever. So yeah, we've all had instances where we're trying to shake a tree and we accidentally forget to put an item away and we chop it down, or dig a hole when we don't mean to dig a hole. Yes, it happens. Could Nintendo fix that? Certainly, they could. There's plenty of buttons on the Switch controller that they could change that stuff around and make it a little bit more intuitive, but is it the end-all be-all of the game? No, but that is a good point. But the other point is mumbling characters and the style that they look and just what you're doing overall. I mean, that's what Animal Crossing is. Animal Crossing is about these weird little characters that tell you weird little stories, and you hang out with them and you enjoy their time, or you don't enjoy their time and you ignore them and do your own thing, or you talk to them and learn more about them, and the characters do evolve as you go on. There are certain characters where off the bat they may seem snooty and not like you, but as they come to trust you, they'll change their personalities and they'll change how they interact with other people as well. So yes, obviously these are NPCs in a sense that it's not real people talking to you, and you're not really affecting change or anything, but it's the same as any other video game. They're all filled with NPCs who mindlessly chatter about things. I mean, any traditional RPG, for every well fleshed out story character, there's characters that say one or two lines over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's just video games. So to, peg it as something specifically in Animal Crossing, I don't think is fair, because it's an issue in gaming in general. But as I said, I do want to point out, I really do think that the Animal Crossing characters, well, I know for a fact that they evolve as time goes on. But yes, you will get the things like, hey dude, I got this thing and I thought you'd really like it, and they attach, like, I don't know, a hot dog cart to their letter, and you're like, I don't really want this. But you go through those things over and over again. There's other interactions with other characters who set up events that you're doing that say the same things. Yes, it is frustrating, but that's not something that's specific to Animal Crossing. That's in a bunch of video games because of the limitations of video games. Jack goes on to say, after a reasonable amount of casual play, here's what I'm left with. Animal Crossing New Horizons sucks, and I don't want to play it anymore. That's fine. Don't play it. Totally fine. If you don't, not every game is made for everybody, and there are certain games that are for an expanded audience that also don't appeal to maybe people who play traditional games. I don't know what Jack plays, but there are countless people who are like, I love Animal Crossing. It's the most fun I've ever had in a game. I love what it lets me do, and I love the customization aspects. I just love that it lets me do what I want to do. And there are other people who are maybe more goal-oriented, and they're like, I don't have anything to do. I start the game, and what am I supposed to do? Chop down trees and make flowers and build a path to a house? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do if you want to. If you're a gamer who likes more goal-oriented games with a very definitive beginning, middle, and end, then Animal Crossing is certainly not going to be for you. Same kind of thing happens with Minecraft. Another expanded audience game, obviously, on an even bigger scale. There are people who just are like, what do you do in Minecraft? There's nothing to do. What do you do? Just wander around and dig? Yeah, you do. You dig, you explore, you build, you play online with others. You make the game that you want to make. And we've seen that with Animal Crossing New Horizons, too. There are players who are making their own games in Animal Crossing New Horizons, stuff that Nintendo didn't develop because they're just experimenting with ways to play. I've seen musical chairs. People have been playing musical chairs in Animal Crossing. People have been doing bingo. People have been doing swap meets where they make a grid on the ground and drop items off, and you exchange items for other items that you might want or items that you want to get rid of. We've seen all kinds of awesome stuff going on with the stock market, where people are getting bouncers for turnips and exchanging money on islands by leaving their gates open. There's all kinds of stuff that people can do, but a lot of it uses your imagination. You have to come up with this stuff. So if you go into the game thinking, where's my checklist of things to do? There are certainly things to do, but it's like, catch bugs, catch fish, talk to villagers or islanders, expand the shops. And those are very loose goals. Nothing happens if you don't do them, but it's it's something that a lot of players work towards. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's very rigid in what it offers you, Animal Crossing is probably not going to be your game. Jack says, this is not a personal attack. I know and respect many people who love this stupid baby game. My favorite Alexa described it as less a game than a dopamine generator. If it makes you feel that way, please do not let me spoil your Soma. But thus far, my time on the game Sandy Beaches has left me with far more complaints than compliments. Again, it sounds like a thing just about Jack and how he feels about the game. And, you know, my real issue here is just calling it a stupid baby game. I can't think of any reason to include comments like that other than to rile people up or, I guess, some attempt at humor or, I mean, I'm really grasping to find out why it's there. It seems like Jack has legitimate concerns that other players of Animal Crossing do. And it would be great to hear that voice come forward and say, listen, I'm new to Animal Crossing. This is what I thought it was going to be. And as a first-timer, here's my issues. And that would be really great to hear because there's issues that longtime fans have that would agree. And then you'd learn about other things that a newcomer experiences and doesn't understand. And maybe you could help them out. Or you could be like, yeah, I understand why he feels like that. Why does Nintendo do it like that? So throwing in those little comments, I mean, you guys know, if you've been with Go Nintendo for a long time now, you know how I feel about snark. And the internet loves snark. The internet loves when you get someone. The internet loves when there's put downs and back and forth and fights. And I mean, it's all over YouTube culture too. It's really saddening. It really is. I don't get why that's a thing. It's why I work so hard not to play into that while still offering a rebuttal. It's just very disheartening because I think it just devalues your message so much. But with as popular as it is on the internet, I guess I'm in a minority here. But I'll gladly stay in a minority. I don't want to play into that stuff. Jack has valid points, and I think saying things like that takes away some of the validity. Jack says, I could fish, though the mechanism is so basic it reduces the process to pulling the lever on a slot machine to see if the right critter comes out. I mean, fishing is very basic. I agree with that. You just sit there and you wait for the fish to officially nibble, and then you pull and you don't know what you get. Some would say that's the excitement of it. You don't know if you're going to get that one fish that you've been looking to put in your museum, the one that's been missing from your collection, or you're going to get a tire or a tin can or something. I can understand, again, someone who's more goal-oriented or is like, I want this specific fish. How do I get that fish? And Animal Crossing is like, well, you see a shadow in the water and maybe you'll get it. So I understand that could be frustrating. But also, I think the randomness of it also plays into real fishing. I mean, you could certainly take fishing very seriously, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you can learn what bodies of water, be they ocean or lake or whatever, are harboring certain fish types, and you could be like, I want to get that type of fish. I'll have a good chance if I go here and fish with this bait to get the specific thing that I want. You could do that, but then there's also a whole group of people who fish in real life more casually, and they just throw their line into the water, and they're like, let's see if I get something. And a lot of fishing can be waiting for hours without anything, and you're like, well, I guess it wasn't a good day for fishing, and you come away with nothing. Or you get a big catch, or you get something you caught 1,000,000 times before. So I think it's kind of equal with real life, depending on how seriously or not seriously you take fishing. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit to make it make more sense for this video. Jack says, my biggest problem with Animal Crossing, I have no connection to any of the villagers or characters who come through the island. Now, that is a complaint that Animal Crossing players have had forever. You can get an island with great characters, you can get an island without great characters, and new people move in and people move out, and that's just the way it is. So, again, kind of like real life. You move in somewhere, there's a neighbor over here that you hate, there's a neighbor over here that you love. That's what happens. But if you're playing a game, you're like, I want the entertainment. I want to like everybody. So I kind of get that. But again, these relationships evolved. For as much as there is pre-canned things that you might hear 4 or 5 times throughout a month from them, you will hear new things. And as long as you put in time with the relationships, then you'll learn more things and your relationship with them will grow. Again, it's like real life. I've had plenty of people in real life where I'm like, oh, I don't think this is the type of person I would hang out with, or oh, I don't think we have a lot in common, and then you get to know them, and you're like, wow, I completely misjudged that person. I seriously just had it happen at the start of this pandemic. I've been playing a lot of games online with people, and I'm playing with someone I don't know in real life. I met them once in passing and said, exchanged pleasantries, just hello, nice to meet you, and that was that. But we're playing online now, and I was just having a conversation with another friend last night saying, boy, that person, I really like them. I'm glad we're playing online because I got to learn a lot more about them, and I think they really jive with us well, and we've been having a lot of fun. So that's the same kind of thing in Animal Crossing. There will be characters you hate, and there will be characters you always hate, but there will be characters who evolve, and other characters who you just like having around because of the way they talk, because of the things that they do, just because of the weird stuff that goes on with them. I mean, that's Animal Crossing. Jack says, if I log on and none of my friends are playing, there is literally nothing I want to do. The game relies heavily on its social aspects. Without other human players, its world is lifeless, dead, and repetitive. I mean, I would say any game is more fun with real-life people, especially if you know them in real life friends. I feel that there is no game that I've ever played where I didn't enjoy it more with real life friends. I always want my friends and family I hold very close to my heart, and I love spending time with them virtually or in real life. So anything I can play with them, be it local multiplayer or online, yeah, I'll take that over single player. It's just funny that he's saying how important online is to Animal Crossing. But longtime fans of the series know that that online wasn't always a thing. Like that just wasn't. You didn't have that option. You could always play with other real life players who were like in your house. You could join together in a game and interact with each other. But yeah, online wasn't always there. It was added later on. So obviously there's something to the Animal Crossing series, even without its online, that has kept it going all these years. Obviously online is a major component now, and it's certainly clunky in some regards. And again, that's something that's part of Nintendo as well. Online is not Nintendo's forte. They give you, let's say, they give you enough of what you want, but usually the things you're missing are things you really want. So yeah, Nintendo, everybody, even the biggest Nintendo supporters can say that Nintendo's lagging as far as online goes, no pun intended, but there's certainly things that they could do to improve online in general overall. But yeah, as far as Animal Crossing goes, I mean, I enjoy playing not online, and I do love getting together with friends, and I enjoy playing online with real life friends and family, and I have great times when I do that. But I also still have fun playing single player just because I like fostering where I am, like turning my house into the thing that I want it to be, seeing what new items are in the shop, seeing what new things I can buy, seeing what the other islanders have to say around me. I just like the core aspects of Animal Crossing that have been a part of the game since it came out on the GameCube in North America all those years ago. So yeah, when I can play online with friends, that's the ultimate of my fun with any game, Animal Crossing included. But Animal Crossing specifically, when it comes to New Horizons, yeah, there's still, personally for me, plenty of fun to be had when you're not interacting online. Very quickly, Jack also does mention that you need a Switch Online subscription, which he says is $4 a month, or you can get it for $20 a year. I guess the $4 a month is right. It's not fresh in my head right now. I just know specifically $20 a year is good. I guess for a newcomer that is a valid complaint, but that's not something you're going to get any differently on any other console. Microsoft and Sony, when it comes to PS4 and Xbox One, also have their paid services, which are I believe $60 a year. I have both those services. I pay one fee one time a year for the $60. And obviously there's more stuff going on there and more interactivity or better implemented online services on those platforms. But the Switch the Switch's online service is $20 a year. So you're paying a lot less, and I'm not saying that I enjoy getting less for the $20, but with the features that I am missing, at least I'm only paying $20. But yeah, I just want to say his complaint about paying for online is a complaint that I guess all gamers have when it comes to consoles, because you got to pay. Finally, Jack says, my friend Chris, who has put so many hours into the game he refused to give me a definite count, says that at a certain point, Animal Crossing becomes less of a resource management game and more of a game about creativity and customization. That's fine if you're a Zen hoarder or you want to recreate weird rooms that appear in Twin Peaks, but for $60 I expected much more than a slightly more interactive MySpace page. Yeah, I would not say New Horizons is slightly more interactive than a MySpace page. There's, again, the limit really with a lot of the stuff is your own imagination. The things that I've seen people come up with is mind-boggling. Somebody made a camouflage costume so they could look like they're blending in with the background of their island for whatever reason. You know, maybe they have real-life players around and they want to pretend like they're they want to hide or pretend like they're not there, and they can put on this costume and face the background and blend in with everything. I mean, I've listed other stuff that people have done. Yeah, it's a game about imagination. And if you're not willing to commit to that or you don't have any interest in that, then Animal Crossing is certainly not going to be for you. And yeah, if you don't like the decoration aspect, and again, I don't think it's anywhere near MySpace levels of customization because there's so much. I've seen a ton of things personally, but my fiance has been playing, and every day I see all kinds of stuff I didn't even know existed in the game that she bought, or outfits that she made, or arrangements that she has in her house. And it's really funny because she has a Twin Peaks room in her house. She's a huge fan of Twin Peaks. I just think it's funny that he specifically mentioned Twin Peaks, and that's what my fiance is doing. So yeah, I think it really comes down to this game not being for Jack because he doesn't seem like someone who can enjoy a non-goal, rigid goal-oriented game, and that's fine. He doesn't have to enjoy it. My major issue in this whole thing is that he belittles the game and its players, and you cannot like the game. Well, first off, he can say whatever he wants. That's completely fine. I'm not saying take the blog down. I'm not saying he's uninformed, although I may think some of his points are coming from a place of being uninformed. He's got every right to say what he wants, and I have every right to say that my rebuttal, which is why I'm doing this. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like the game for him, and the fact that he's belittling people that are playing the game, be it an attempt at humor, be it tongue-in-cheek, I still am sad to see it. It's just one more piece on the internet that takes that approach. The headline gets clicks. I know a lot of places aim for clicks. Again, he does not represent Business Insider, but he obviously wants people to read his thing. There's a reason why it's been spread around. It's because of the title. And then I don't know how many people actually read the body of the article, but as I said, there's some good points in there and some other ones I don't agree with. But yeah, just the overall approach to it really disheartens me. I reached out to Jack. I told him right before I was recording this video that I was doing a video. I'm going to send him the video. I also said I'm going to be as even-keeled as possible and respectful. Hopefully I came across that way. I also said I'd love to do an email interview with him to talk about some of the points, so hopefully he will watch the video and still want to talk. I appreciate him responding right away. We'll see where things go, but yeah, for when pieces like that come out, I always feel like there should be a rebuttal, and I try and do so in a way that's respectful and gets information out there and offers a different viewpoint without me screaming or raging or making a crazy thumbnail or something like that. So I know those kind of efforts don't reach as big an audience, but it's very important to me. And if you took the time to watch this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Alright, my friends, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting. It's very much appreciated. Also, a huge thank you to you guys who support me on a Patreon. It helps me do videos like this, and the podcasts, and the site, and social media, so thank you very much. If you want to learn more about the Patreon, which is just $1, you can check out a link in the description below, but as for today, that is it. So thanks for watching, thanks for liking. As long as I got something interesting to show you, I will be back tomorrow. So until then, have a lovely day, and a lovely evening, and I'll see you in a few short hours.